Happy morning, children. Yes, how are you? Fine. Had your breakfast? Very good. So, I feel happy to see you all again. Yes. So, this is the last session before our PA1 exams. Yes or no? So, this is our last session before our exams. Now, what we are doing? Tell me. Yes, we are revising our lessons. So, we come to the end of our revision. So, in the last class, what we had seen, the revision of third lesson, part 1 and 2. Now, we are going to see the revision of that lesson, chapter 3, part 3 and then 4. Shall we go? Yes. So, what is that lesson? Fiber to fabric. Yes, by seeing that, what does come to your mind? Clothes. We had seen detailedly, right? Why do we wear clothes? What is the need of wearing clothes? What are the different types of clothes which we wear during the different seasons? Yes or no? So, what is the next thing? Content. So, what are all the content? So, these are all the content of this lesson. In this, what is the topic we had covered already? The first three, what are they? Introduction, fibers and then wool. So we have discussed about these three topics in the last class. So now we are going to see about silk. And then disease caused due to wool and sericulture industry. And the last we will be seeing our mind map and then key points, a final recap of everything. Okay, shall we go? Yes. What is the recap? So what is mean by this? What we had seen in the last class? Yes, it is nothing but we had seen about wool. Yes or no? Different types of wool. First coming to fiber, fabric, yarn. Yes, and then classification. What are the classification of fibers? How many types are there? Very good. There are two types. And then natural fiber and then synthetic fiber. Nature are of two types. They are of plant source and then animal source. After that, wool. So, breeding of sheep and then how to take care of sheep and then rearing of sheep and then what are all the steps which are involved in obtaining fiber from the sheep. That is, what are all the steps involved in obtaining fiber, that is a wool from the sheep. We had seen all this. Now we are going to see about silk. So silk is a source of what is the type of silk? Silk is a source of natural fiber. Yes, so what is the source of silk? From where do we get this silk? Very good, we get silk from silkworm. That is silk moth. Yes or no? So this wool and silk are animal source of natural fibers. Give me some examples of natural source of plant fibers. Yes? Very good. Cotton and jute. Cotton and jute are example of plant source and wool and silk are example of animal source. So, silk has been discovered in China. So, the silk has been around in China around 3500 BC. That is, BC means before Christ. So, silk at the silk which are used in the olden days or became very priced. That is, in rate of amount. That is very high price because of its fine quality. So, because these silks are used only by the emperors. So, the people who belong to the emperor family or the kingdoms or the king family, they only used this silk. So, only it is considered to be very high rate. And see here, we are able to see the silk with the king crown, right? So, silk is of fine color, that is very soft to touch and it is very shiny. And then, so, first I said China is the largest producer and exporter of silk in the world. Who is the largest producer of cotton in the world? Yes? Very good, Egypt. Egypt is the largest exporter of cotton. But China is the largest producer and exporter of silk in the world. So during the olden days, there were no proper routes like road transport, water transport, or air transport. So silk became a item for trade at that time. So silk was found only in China. So the people, those who are in China, started to trade with other country by the silk. They went to other countries and then sold the silk. So they found that ways. So the ways which are found, that is the roots which are used by the Chinese people to connect other parts of the world to sell silk is called as silk routes. Listen again, I'll tell you. So the Chinese people, they used the different types of routes for the purpose of trade. So the trade routes which link China with other parts of the world for the purpose of silk of trade is called as silk routes. See here, you are able to see a silk route here. So this red color represents the connecting China with other parts of the world through landway. This blue color represents the waterway, that is connecting China with other parts of the world through water transport, here through land transport. So these two are called as silk routes. And then, but as per the historians, silk is also produced in India. Silk is also produced in India. So the evidence we get from the Indus Valley civilization. Yes, what is that civilization? Growth or development in technology or the behavior or the lifestyle of the people is called civilization. The improvement or development in the lifestyle of a people is called civilization. So the people started to settle down near the Indus Valley for the purpose of agriculture. So they started cultivating them. So at that time only the silk was used by the people. So silk is also produced in India. So what is the evidence for that? Indus Valley civilization. See, you are able to see a picture of Indus Valley civilization. So it is located near Indus River. So this Indus River before the independence, so the which parts are covered means Afghanistan, Pakistan, India together are connected by this Indus River. So it is called as Indus Valley civilization. Before the independence, Pakistan and India are combined into one country, not two different countries. Okay. So next thing, now we are entering into the topic, that is silk. So silk is nothing but it is a fine, that means very soft, continuous protein fiber. Why we use the word protein here? Yes, very good. The silk fiber is made up of protein. The silk fiber is made up of protein. So we use the word protein here. So silk is a fine continuous protein fiber produced by various insects. Larvae produced by silkworms are used for textiles. There are fibers produced by many. See here, have you seen that spider webbing the spin? Yes, spider's web. So it also ejects some content, that is the saliva from it. So there are also fibers, but mainly the fibers which are produced from silkworms are used in the textile industries. And then we had seen already, fiber are converted into yarn, and then yarn are converted into fabric. Yes or no? Am I correct or not? Yes. So see, you are able to see a shiny green and red silk. Yes or no? It looks shiny and very soft. So there are different types of silk because there are different types of silkworms. There are different types of silk because there are different types of silkworms. Yes or no? And then, so what do you mean by domestic? Domestic animals. So the animals which are grown live in the under human care. So the animals which live in forest are called as wild animals. So which live in home are called as domestic animal. So here also the same point, but the silkworm which are grown by people are called as domestic silk. And then the silk which are grown by itself in outside the places, outside the houses are called as what are the wild silk. So these wild silk are found in forests. It does its web by that, it produces its fiber by itself. But here in domestic, they are purposefully grown to rear the silk. So what is the most common type? Mulberry silk. And then wild silk are mug silk, eri silk, and then tassar silk. Tassar is also known as kosa silk. So this kosa silk is considered to be the very pure, is considered to be very pure. And then, so next, what is the topic? Sericulture. Yes, what do you mean by sericulture? Yes, the rearing of silkworm is called sericulture. Okay, the rearing of silkworm is called as sericulture. And then, so silkworms spin silk fibers. Silkworms produce silk fibers. So the process of rearing, I said you already, right? What is mean by rearing? Yes, taking care of them, providing them with food and shelter. We have seen that already in the sheep. Yes, so rearing of sheep. Here also the same, the rearing of silkworm is called as sericulture. Okay. So see here you are able to see what is this stage? Cocoon and pupa. What is this? Caterpillar. Yes. What is that outer covering called as? Cocoon. Very good. What is present inside the cocoon? Pupa. Good. So now we are going to study about the life history of silk moth. What is that? How this silkworm is produced? What is the life history present inside them? That is the life cycle of silkworm. So who lays eggs here? Very good. Female silk moth lays eggs. Female silk moth lays eggs. So these eggs are hatched. What do you mean by hatch? Providing them with proper temperature for the eggs to come out. The eggs would come out. So the young ones which are present inside the eggs will come out. This is called as hatching. Have you seen that egg hen sitting on its egg? What is that process? Hatching. So if a particular temperature is needed for the hatching. If the condition is very cool, the hatching process does not take place. So proper warm heat must be provided to them. Then only the hatching process takes place. So here the female silk moth lays eggs and the eggs are hatched and the larvae comes out. So the larva which comes out of the eggs are called as caterpillars or silkworms. So the female silk moth lays eggs. So the young ones, that is the larvae which comes out of the eggs are called caterpillars or silkworms. See here you are able to see the picture of male and female silk moth. Yes, who lays eggs here? Yes, very good. The female silk moth lays eggs. And then, so after that what happens? That comes out now, the caterpillar or the silkworm. So it starts to eat and then grow. After the growth process is completed, it emits fibers, start to emit its waste, that is the saliva. So it afterwards spin it all around by fibers. It spin around itself. So next stage is called as pupa stage. So, but the covering is called as cocoon. So, the caterpillar which is present inside the cocoon is called as pupa. Yes, the caterpillar which is present inside the cocoon is called as pupa. The outer covering of pupa is called as cocoon. Yes or no? Are you clear with this? So, what is the first stage? Silk moth lays eggs. So, these eggs comes out. So they are called as caterpillars or silkworms. So these caterpillars start eating. After the process is completed, they start to eject the fibers from their mouth. So with that fibers, they used to surround themselves close themselves with that